So just in the house, just chilling in the bed. Anyway, I want to talk about my $100 an hour lesson. I'm not going to give you too many details though, but it's pretty cool. But what I did one day, I got this lesson. It's really cool to teach adults how to speak like immediately, and I tell them maybe 4 lessons all they need, and they can, but they should do the homework in between the week, between classes and stuff, and it's pretty straightforward, really easy, and some people take it and they like it. This one man, he was 65 years old. Well, he's 66, I guess it was last year. And he took it, and he was really skeptical about it because he came in to take a lesson. And actually, what it is I could do an adult lesson with him, and he pays $60 every month. But I told him that if he can't think fast enough to respond in a reasonable amount of time, then he's just going to waste his money. Oh my God, that's crazy. So all he's going to do is just waste his money. And he's going to end up quitting. And on top of that, he's going to be kind of disappointed because he didn't, how can I say that? I don't want to say learn, but what's the word? Anyway, his English wouldn't have improved any better, So we talked about it for like 45 minutes. So he said, all right. So he came to class and I showed him what to do. And after an hour, he was like, is that all? I was like, yeah. And he was like, are you joking? I'm like, yeah, that's English. He's like, oh my God, it's so easy. He's like, all right. So he gave me $100. He said, I won't be back anymore. And I was like, okay. And then I think I saw him like a month or two later. And I said, you still studying? He started laughing. He's like, yes, it's so easy. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Why don't they teach us this when we're in junior high school? He said, they would taught us like this. Everybody in Japan be speaking English by now and stuff. He said, oh, it's pretty sad. And he said, is that the way you guys teach in America? I'm like, no, I just developed this myself. He said, you did it by yourself? I said, yeah. So then I had like, I don't know, 3 or 4. Well, this one lady, one of my friend's girlfriends, mom wanted to take a lesson. And I told him to take a teacher, but he knows my lesson's good because he's watching them. And so I taught her for like 4 lessons. So I got like $400 out of that. And then I taught this other lady 1 lesson. I taught her daughter a long time ago. Her daughter, I guess she came to class one day. And she was so shy that she just urinated on herself. Couldn't believe it. But she was advancing really fast, So she quit, and now her daughter's like in the 5th grade. So they came back and stuff. So this is like when she was in kindergarten. No, yeah, she was like not in kindergarten. She probably like 3 years old. So I guess 9 years went by, I guess. And then the mother wanted to learn English also. So I taught the mother about the $100 lesson, and she was of course, everyone's gonna be skeptical, because somebody's gonna tell them, well, me anyway, because I don't dress nice or anything. So I tell them that, and so she's like, all right, I'll give it a try. So I gave her 1 lesson, and she was like, kind of like, is that it? And I was like, yeah. She's like, wow, that's kind of easy. And I was like, yeah, And then, but she did a little bit of homework. And the next week she came while her daughter was doing a grammar test. I helped her out a little bit. And I said, no, because I tell them, I said, listen, if you want to do it, if you want to learn this quick, just do exactly the way I told you to do it. And then once you remember, then it'll be faster. But don't try to guess, because if you do, you're just going to take more time guessing instead of just doing exactly what I told you. And she was like, wow, this is so easy. And then this other lady was at the Starbucks we always go to, me and my friend. And she was 52, I think. But she's fine. I ain't joking. Nice body. And she's like really beautiful, for her age. And actually, if you talk to her, you wouldn't think she was that age anyway. And her and her daughter was sitting there, and she looked way better than her daughter. And so they were talking and stuff. And as soon as they started talking about English, that's when I said something to them. And then I guess the mother thought we were non-pon or something. And we were like, nah, just you said something about English, so that's why I spoke. And so then she was saying like how she went to America and was trying to study, but she still can't speak that well. So then I told her about my $100 lesson, and she was like, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah." And she was like, of course, skeptical and stuff. So I went to the bookstore that was in the same building, and I was showing her some books and stuff that, this one Target book that I use for my elementary school students. I used the same one, but I told her to get the 1900 one because it's has more business words in it, I guess. And then she bought the book, but it took like, I don't know, maybe almost a month before she joined. And then she came to class. But I told her, I said, before you join, you have to pay however many classes you want, you have to pay it up front. And she's like, okay, I'll take 3 classes, but I got to pay $300. I was like, yeah. And she was like, all right. So she wanted to come for not a trial lesson, but to watch one of my other classes, right? So I have she came, like, she just popped in. Sorry about that. Anyway, she didn't pop in, but I already told her she could come. So she came during one of my elementary school lessons. I think the youngest student is in the 3rd grade, the oldest is in the 5th, and they're doing grammar and stuff. No, they're not doing grammar. What they're doing is they're answering English questions in English. And what they do is, like, I give them a conversation, then I ask a question like, what was delicious? And then they have to answer. The correct answer is, the apple is delicious. They can use an apple, but it actually is the apple. So we were doing that, and they were answering the questions and everything. And she was kind of surprised. And one of the mothers had came to pick up her daughter and son. So she was outside talking to the lady, and the lady told her that she went to different. She had just moved to Wakayama. She had went to different schools and stuff, and she didn't like I guess they didn't provide what she was looking for. That's what she said. So when she came to mine, she was like really surprised because of what I teaching at the higher level, but it's so easy to understand. And she also said the same thing. She's like, I can't believe my kids are learning so fast. And she had watched one of my lessons, and she was like, is this the way they teach you in America? I was like, no. She's like, then did you make this up? I was like, yeah. She's like, wow. She's, I wish they teach us like this in junior high school, because we would have been speaking English a lot, So it was funny. But anyway, the lady watched it, and the next week she came for her lesson. And after the lesson, I think it was after the second lesson, we were talking and stuff, and she was telling me what the mother had said, and she was like really impressed, and really impressed the way I was teaching her and stuff. So tomorrow's the last lesson, so I have to just teach her how to study on her own in an effective way, and then teach her the phonics real quick, because I got this phonics program for Japanese parents. For Japanese adults. It takes like maybe 10 to 15 minutes, and that's it. And they're like, it's really easy and stuff. And she was laughing because she didn't believe me and stuff. But I was like, all right, you'll see next week. So it was cool. But what happened was, the reason I made this lesson that price, because I made it before, and this one guy, he's rich, Japanese guy, and he saw my lesson. I think on the 3rd lesson he quit because he understood what it was about. And I was like, what? So I was like, well, I'm going to have to start charging extra for this lesson, because if everyone comes in at, the low price of $20 an hour for a group lesson, and because my private lessons are $60 an hour, then I would lose a lot of customers, and they would, because that lesson is very valuable and stuff. So after that, I was like, forget it. But when I first put it up, though, that price, I didn't expect anyone to join anyway. I mean, not to join it, but to take that class. But some people are doing it. It's really interesting. Because it was funny because we were in the bookstore and I was telling her about it. Her and her daughter, they were like really hyped. And I was with another one of my friends, and both of them said they were going to join. I said, yeah, $600 just like that. But it took a lot of talking, though. But the daughter didn't come, only the mother. So I still got $300. So I was happy and stuff. So we had the lesson, and after lesson, because actually what it is it's a 1 hour lesson, but the 1 hour is for them just to not talk and just listen to what I got to say and watch what I do, and that's it. And then after a lesson, I answer the questions, which end up being anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours and a half. Because some people, I guess, they're just talking just so they can so they don't feel bad for about spending all that money. But I tell them, spend $400, $500, $600. Because any lessons over 4 lessons, it's like really reviewing stuff only, and that's for like really slow adults. But I guess I don't know. But I told her, I said you can come to my class pay $80 a month, which is still cheap for a group lesson, and keep coming to those. But you're not gonna be able to speak the English the way my $100 an hour lesson is. I will teach you to do. She was like, oh, okay. It's a trip, though. Really, really interesting. But anyway, let's hit them out. Peace.